Evening all, and welcome to this evening's pre-record. So tonight we will be discussing learning outcome number 5, and that is analyze the use of goals or objectives to include characteristics of the role of planning and prioritizing civic or vocational goals or objectives, the rules of review and evaluation. So here's a quote for you. The tragedy of life doesn't lie in not reaching your goal. The tragedy lies in having no goals to reach. And that was by a guy called Benjamin Mays. The benefits of goal setting: improved performance, increased motivation, and focus and direction and confidence. So obviously, when you set yourself a goal, your performance is going to improve because you've set yourself a goal, so you want to reach that goal. And then when you improve your performance, your motivation increases. When your motivation increases, your focus and direction get better and improve. And obviously then at the very end, your confidence, you build your confidence up because you have a goal set, you're focused, and you know what you need to do. Here are some career goal examples for performance review. Some of the short-term goals: gain a new skill, boost your network abilities, intern with a large company, start your own business, improve sales or productivity numbers. So long-term goals then: earn a degree or certification, which is what you're doing here. Make a career switch, something you may or may decide after you finish this course, who can say. Become an expert in your field. I suppose doing this course, this security operations course, management course, it does help you become an expert in your field. Reach a leadership position. Maybe some of you are in that position already and you want to go on to the next stage. Win a prestigious award within your company. Has any of you won an award within the industry? If so, I'd be delighted to hear about that. Maybe the rest of your colleagues would as well. Your performance review goals then. So your productivity goals, your efficiency goals, education goals, creativity goals, problem-solving goals, documentation goals, program maintenance goals, leadership goals, attendance and dependency goals, time management goals, safety and compliance goals, and project management goals. These are all areas that already you could be very proficient in. They could be your strengths, but they could also be some of your weaknesses. So what we did last week and the week before last, the very first week, we did this SWOT analysis on ourselves. And some of you had no problem putting in all the strengths. Some of you had difficulties putting in weaknesses. You couldn't find a weakness. But maybe some of these things are a weakness that you may not realize. Only when you read them out in front of yourselves, you see, okay, that could be weakness. Maybe it's my productivity. Maybe I could be a little weak in that. Maybe I'm a little weak in my efficiency, how we do things. Your education goals, again, you're improving on those already by doing this course. What are your communication skills like? Is that something you could improve on? Creativity, problem solving. Again, is that something, are you good at it? It's something you could improve upon. Program maintenance, your leadership goals. Do you have aspirations to become a team leader, a supervisor, a manager, senior manager? Attendance and dependency goals. So what's your attendance like? Your time management is something we were discussing last week. Safety and compliance. What is your, how are you at complying with safety rules and regulations? Are you one of these guys that be grand? Or, do you take your safety and compliance things very, very seriously? And again, depending on your position, project management goals. Are you involved in project? Are you involved in developing projects from the ground upwards? So these are all things that you might have, to set yourself. The short-term goals, okay? The thing about goals, great to have them. We all need them. But if you decide to give yourself a goal, make sure that that goal is attainable. There's no point in setting yourself, especially short-term goals, okay? Set yourself unattainable goals and giving yourself a realistic time frame to reach that goal. If you set yourself unattainable goals, then ultimately you will be disappointed. And that's the last thing we want to do here, okay? Set ourselves goals that are achievable. The second short-term goal that we're talking about here, boost your networking abilities. So what way are you with networking? Do you use all the usual social media platforms to boost your network? Start your own business. That can be scary. And I'm speaking from experience here. It can be a scary time, but it can also be a very, very exciting time. Watching your business grow and develop and you along with it. It can be, like I said, scary, but can be very, very exciting and very, very rewarding. I've already kind of discussed the long-term goals by earning a degree or certificate, which is what you're doing. You may decide to change your career once you finish this. You are on the path to becoming an expert in your field, again, by doing this course. You might want to reach a leadership position even. You may, like I said, you may already be in that position, but you may want to move on to the next. Win a prestigious award in the industry. Have you already? If have, what is it? Please tell us all. Taking this time to discuss your professional needs and aspirations for growth at least 1 year is the basis of the personal development plan, or the PDP process. Managers should create an action plan for realistic steps the employee can take to help him or her build a desired skill, better use existing talents, or prepare for a career goal. The personal development plan is not your annual performance appraisal, it complements it. It encourages employees to invest in their work and themselves, contributing to greater job satisfaction. Have any of you ever done an annual performance appraisal? Have you ever done a self-appraisal performance? It's something that can be difficult to do, the self-appraisal, because it's very, very hard to criticize yourself. Like I said, and you probably noticed it last week when you were doing the SWOT analysis that, again, everyone was great at putting down their strengths, but not so great at putting down their weaknesses. It's very hard to criticize yourself when you're doing these self-appraisal forms. They can be difficult. Sometimes it's hard to, how would I say it, critique yourself. But if you do one of these personal development plans, it complements your appraisal because it puts you on the right path. It makes you, I suppose, not work harder, but work better. It gives yourself your goals that you need to enhance. to enhance yourself. Okay, so again, the whole plan, it's a good thing. It helps you to develop, and that's what this module is all about: professional and personal development. So the PDP is a process you direct in partnership with your manager to enhance your professional growth by setting goals for professional development, identifying ways to learn or improve in important competencies you will need now or in the future to achieve these goals. Identify your strengths, your talents, your passions, and planning ways to use these on the job. And I'll use those couple of lines, or that particular line, throughout this presentation. Using your strengths, using your passions, and planning ways to use them on the job. That's something that I'm going to be mentioning a few times throughout this presentation. Identify your personal professional goals and motivations. What motivates you? What energizes you at work? What kind of opportunities do you want in the future? Again, the questions that these are questions that we need to ask ourselves. You know, what is it that about the job that you're doing at the moment that, you know, gets your blood flowing? What motivates you? What do you enjoy about it? You know, what gets the juices going, you know, when you're at work? And what kind of opportunities do you want in the future? So what, you know, like at the very start, the question I asked you all, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? What are your aspirations for the next 5 years? What kind of opportunities do you want? If you're after setting yourself a long-term goal where you want to be X, Y, or Z, okay, whatever it is you have this long-term, are you going to let the opportunities that may come along within that time go by? Are you going to grab those opportunities as well? Sometimes we get so focused on the goal that's, you know, the golden cup, we'll say, that we let opportunities slip by. And these are opportunities that could enhance where we want to be in 5 years' time. So don't let these, you know, opportunities that may come by, don't let them pass you by. Grab them, go for them. Don't let them slip by, because they can only enhance you as a person, personally and obviously professionally. So what opportunities exist in your current role that would help you develop and grow? Are there any opportunities in your current role that can help you? Where do your motivations and the needs of the organizations, where do your motivations and the needs of the organization strongly align? So do you see yourself, you yourself and the organization you're in, you know, are you going in the same direction, or do you want different things? Now, if it's a case that you want different things, that's not a bad thing. It just maybe you have to think about, you know, is this where I want to be in 5 years' time? Do I still want to be in this organization in 5 years' time? Or should I go to someplace that, you know, their needs are in line with my motivations? What do you want to learn? What do you want to prepare for? Again, another question that we need to ask ourselves. You know, is there something that I need to know? Is there something that I should prepare for that may come down the line? You know, again, sometimes it's good to write down these questions and take them out every now and then and have a look at them. Again, back to what I was mentioning earlier on, determine your talents, strengths, and development opportunities. So again, what are your strengths, your talents? What are your passions? What do you love doing? What are your areas to improve or new areas to learn? So again, more questions for you guys to write down and ask yourself. The thing about personal and professional development, right? It's all about you, the person. It's all about where you want to be. It's all about where you see yourself being. It's all about how you develop yourself to get to that place. You need to visualize it. You need to visualize yourself in 5 years' time and see, you know, what you want to be or where you're going to be. And once you visualize it, that helps you make it happen. So, what do you love doing? Whether it be professionally or personally, what do you love doing? What are your areas to improve or new areas that you want to learn? So is there anything you think that you could improve, be it personally or professionally? Or is there new things you want to learn? So again, questions, we always need to be asking ourselves questions. And like I said in the previous slide, sometimes it's good to write these down, because you can run all these scenarios through your head. It's only it's only when you write them down and you can take a note every now and then and have a look. Okay, I've done this. I can tick that one off. Yeah, I'm almost there. Nearly ready to take that one off. And it's a good way to be, writing things down to see how you're progressing. So here's a good one for you. Review your recent and past reviews. Any performance-related feedback you receive from your supervisors, co-workers, clients, and others, or any self-assessments you have taken. Are they consistent with your assessment of your talents, strengths, and development needs? So it's always good to have a look at these and see, from say this time 6 months ago, this time last year, this time 2 years ago, however long they go back. It's always good to have a look at these and see, have you progressed at all in the last while? Are you still where you were 6 months ago? Are you still where you were 12 months ago? Are you in a better place now than you were 12 months ago? Or are you in a worse place? So it's always good to have a look at these things. And again, are they consistent with your assessment of your own talents, your own strengths, and your own development needs? Again, all questions that we need to ask ourselves. So the SMART program, okay? So SMART. So specific, state exactly what you want to accomplish, who, what, where, and why. Measurable, how will you demonstrate and evaluate the extent of the goal to which the goal has been met? Achievable, stretch and challenging goals within ability to achieve outcome. What is the action-oriented verb? Relevant, how does the goal tie into your key responsibility? How is it aligned to objectives? Time-bound, set one or more target dates, the by when, to guide your goal to successful and timely completion. Include deadlines, dates, and frequency. So, what exactly do you want? Where do you want to be? What do you want to be? Who do you want to be? And why? Measurable, how will you demonstrate and evaluate the extent to which the goal has been met? So how will you measure it? How will you measure if your goals are being met, if you're achieving your goals? You record it. That's how you do it. Stretch and challenging goals with inability to achieve the outcome. So what is the action-oriented verb? Set yourself goals. Stretch and challenge goals. So you need to set yourself goals, right? But they need to be within your ability to achieve. Like I said, setting unattainable goals, it will lead to disappointment. And this is what we need to do, okay? Set goals that are achievable. Just bear with me for 1 second. Right, again, Tomboy, you need to set timelines for yourself. Again and again, achievable timelines. If you set yourself a goal, don't say that you're going to reach this goal within 1 week or 2 weeks. Give yourself plenty of time to achieve these goals. Plan your focused personal development plan, or your PDP, objectives and action steps. Considering your current career situation and future aspirations, where should you focus your development, and what will your objectives be for this PDP? Will your PDP include building capabilities, preparing for new opportunities, or both? Again, back to your strengths and talents. Will your strengths and talents, which of your strengths and talents will you use more often or expand upon? What development opportunities are more important for you to focus on? What smart action steps will you take to achieve your PDP? These are not questions I can answer for you guys. These are questions you have to answer yourself. Is there a right or wrong answer? When it comes to personal stuff and personal development especially, there is no right or wrong answer really as such. It's what's right for you. What's right for you may not be right for me or one of your colleagues. It's what's right for you. So again, when you write these questions down and you answer them yourself, okay, you have to be honest with your answers. You have to be honest with yourself. There's no point in writing things down that are untrue or unattainable or, you know, just far outreaching, you know, what's practically or, you know, realistically attainable. You need to be honest with yourself and answer these questions to yourself honestly. Nobody else is going to see these really, you know, only you, you know, and, you know, if you can answer these honestly yourself, then you're on the right path. Meet with your manager. So schedule a 1-hour meeting with your manager to discuss your draft PDP. You will be responsible for running the meeting with your manager. Again, you know, holding or presenting or running a meeting, it can be quite daunting if it's something you haven't done before, but it's very, very achievable. It's not a difficult thing to do. Just plan it out first. You know, write down what you want to say and how you want to say it. And it's that easy, okay? So write everything down in front of you before you go in and plan your meeting out of how you see the meeting going. And everything should be fine then. Act on your plan. So when you complete your PDP form to finalize your plan, give a copy to your manager. Plan your PDP deadlines in your calendar. Partner with your manager to make the plan work. Schedule follow-up meetings to check your progress, act on the plan, and assume ownership. So plan your deadlines into your calendar. We all have calendars, whether they're the ones that we have on our desk or the ones we have on the phone, but we all have a calendar. So put your deadlines into your calendar. Partner with your manager to make the plan work. It's up to you to make your manager will help you, but it's up to you ultimately to make sure the plan works. Remember, this is your plan, so you need to assume ownership of it. Again, schedule quarterly follow-up meetings to check on your progress. It's always great to see, you know, where you were to where you are now. It's brilliant to see it. How far you may or may not have progressed. It's actually quite invigorating, and it really sets the mind up for, wow, I can't imagine I was like that. Look at me now. Look what I'm doing now compared to what I was doing 4 months ago, 6 months ago, last year. It's great to see. And looking at, I suppose, looking back at your previous reviews maybe as well would help you as well. Seeing where you were, seeing how you performed, and seeing how you're performing now. It's a great tool to use to motivate you and keep you on the right path. So the employee or you, where I see myself in the future, my career and professional growth goals, what I see as my strengths and talents, what I see as my development opportunities, what I see as possible development actions for me, the development plan I will commit to, and you will support. With your support for this year. And so again, where do you see yourself in the future? That's what it all comes down to, isn't it? Where you actually see yourself in the future. And like I said, you have to visualize that. Visualize you in that, whatever goal you set, visualize yourself in that role, at that goal, and it will happen. It will happen. Again, what I see as my strengths and talents, these are something that you need to build on. Build on your strengths and talents. What I see as my development opportunities. So what opportunities may come your way? What you see as opportunities that can help you develop. What I see as possible development actions for me, and the development plan I will commit to and you will support me for this year. The manager then, where do you see me in the future? Growing in the current job or taking on new responsibilities? What you see as my strengths and talents? What you see as my development opportunities? What you see as possible development actions for me, and the development plan I will commit to and you will support for this year. So this is what it's all about. And it's interesting to see, you look at the questions that you're asking yourself, they're basically the same questions, right? But it would be interesting to see is how you see yourself and how the manager sees you. And wouldn't it be great if both are lined up together and we're going in the same direction? But again, remember, whatever the manager may say to you, don't take it as a negative. Take it as constructive criticism, okay? And that's the way it should be seen, constructive criticism. This is where, and it's important, you can then build on that. Okay, that's fine. I know this, now I know this, now I know that. I can move on from there and develop further and make improvements if improvements are needed. Meet with your manager, okay? So the PDP meeting is a partnership, a joint effort led by the employee and supported by the manager. In this meeting, the employer and manager discuss and refine the ideas they prepared. Talk about the development with the current job and the possibilities for future career development. And this is what it's all about. Any good manager worth his salt will want to see employees doing this. Why? Because it can only make things better within, whether it's in his department, whether it's within his team, whatever role he has as a manager. This can only enhance the department or team. Seeing his employees wanting to develop themselves, wanting to make themselves better at what they're doing, exceed what's expected of them, and do even better. It can only be, a foolish manager would ignore this. A foolish manager would ignore it. The output from the discussion is a refined PDP with goals and activities spelled out that will allow the employee to grow in directions of interest. While contributing to the needs of the organization, together the employee and manager create a plan the employee can act on and the manager can support. So that's what it's all about. Make your decisions, between the meeting between yourself and your manager, you align your goals and develop them. And like I said, numerous times, keep your goals attainable. Keep the goals attainable. Start small and build each time. You know what to say, Rome wasn't built in a day. And this is how it needs to be done. How to conduct a meeting with your manager, okay? So again, state the purpose in the process for the PDP discussion. I would like to talk about ideas for my development and get your feedback so we can agree on some next steps. Keep it simple, keep it straight to the point. Go to your manager and say, look, can I schedule a meeting with you? I would like to talk about my ideas for my development and get your feedback so we can agree or maybe discuss on what the next steps can be. Very, very simple. Very simple. Give your manager an overview of the sections of the PDP form and share how you arrived at your conclusions for each. Ask and listen. Invite your manager to share his or her perspective on each of the sections as you move through them. And listen carefully to understand his or her perspective and reactions. Remember, you're the person that called this meeting, okay? So you need to listen to what they have to say. Decide which ideas incorporate into your plan, and agree when you will send him or her the finalized PDP form. Thank your manager for his or her support and set a time during the next quarter when you will meet to check in on progress. And again, it is a good idea, you know, getting the feedback from your manager, whether you like it or not. Remember, you're the person that called this meeting, so you need to listen to what they are saying to you. Okay, it's, you know, whether it's good or bad, you need to take it on board. And I suppose the good thing about progressing personally and professionally is when you get negative feedback, it's how you deal with that negative feedback. It shows them, you know, would there have been a time where the negative feedback might have upset you and put you off your game for a couple of days, or a day or two, I think that. It's how you deal with whatever negative criticism. And I'm not going to call it negative criticism. I'm going to call it constructive criticism, okay? Because we need to get rid of the word negative, okay? Constructive criticism. He's telling you these things not to put you down, but to show you where you need to start. To show you, right, this is where you need work on. You're fine here. This is where I feel you need to work on, to develop a bit more. And use it. And, you know, remember, again, like I said, you're the person that called this meeting. You're the person that put this plan in motion. You ask for their support. You ask for their feedback. You ask them to help you put your plan in motion. So remember, you need to listen to what they have to say. They're not telling you bad things because just for the sake of bad things. If they're on board with this, then they'll want to see you on the right path. So the employee role, okay? So act on your plan, follow up on the plan, send your supervisor a copy of the finalized plan, and implement the plan. So follow up on the plan. So you've taken the first step. You put your plan, you put your plan on paper, it's there. Okay. Send a copy to your supervisor or manager so they can see exactly what you have. Then you need to start it, implement it. So what's the first step? You start, like every great journey, it starts with one step, okay? So you take the first step and you implement the plan. Once you started, you need to keep the momentum going. You need to keep going and going and going until you reach your first goal. And, you know, once you reach that first goal, it's like a state of euphoria. Remember, this is your career, your future, and only you can take the steps required to develop and grow your skills and capabilities. Hold to your scheduled meetings with your manager to track your progress and make adjustments as necessary. Like I said in the previous slide, only you can do this. No one else can do it for you. You're the person that wants to develop yourself. You're the person that put this plan in motion. You're the only person who can take the steps for you to develop and grow. No one else can do it for you. This is something you have to do on your own. And if you're serious about it, you will do it and you will stick to your plan. Stick to your plan and follow the steps that you laid out in your plan, and you will get there. You will get there. And again, this meetings you schedule with your manager, stick to them. And it's important that whatever feedback you get in these quarterly meetings or whenever you schedule, that you take whatever feedback he gives you, you take it for the way it's intended, not to knock you down, but to help you. Even if it's constructive criticism, it's there to help you. That's why he or she is telling you, okay, Ed, look, I see where you're going. I feel you're dropping the ball here in this section. You're way up here on this section, but you're dropping the ball on this section. Okay, don't take it as a criticism. Take it as what it to be. He's pointing you in the right direction. He or she is helping you to, okay, you're fine here. You need to bring the side up. And that's what it's all about. Following a short list. The following is a short list, by no means all inclusive of activities that can be used to target specific competencies for development. 1, present at or lead a meeting you do not normally run. Again, it can be quite daunting if it's something you've never done before, but sometimes it's good to step outside your comfort zone. Something that you maybe know. Some people, they get very nervous standing in front of people and speaking. Other people are very, very comfortable at it. For me, obviously, I find it easy enough to stand in front of people and speak. Lucky for me, it's my job to stand up in front of people and speak and speak to people I don't know. Sometimes it can be harder to stand up in front of people you actually know and give a speech or present or lead a meeting than people you don't know. So sometimes it's good to step outside the comfort zone every now and then to help you out. Okay. Second one, take on a significant role for a task, project, or activity that crosses departmental boundaries. Okay, depending upon the role you're in at the moment, you may not be able to do that, but it's certainly something to have a look at. If part of your job, your part of your role is your front of house, your reception, and that's where you stay. And somebody else, they're not front of house, they do all the patrolling or whatever it is they have to do. Maybe swap over, or maybe say, okay, Joe, you take a break. I'm going to do this patrol, whatever it may be, But again, it all depends on the role you're in at the moment. Is it possible to do something like that? If it's not possible, don't worry too much. There's not a whole lot you can do about that. 3, put yourself in someone else's shoes. Shadow or job swap for a predetermined time. Again, it's always good to do that. You know what they say, the grass is always greener on the other side. Sometimes it's good to put yourself in someone else's shoes to see how it actually is. You may think, oh God, their job is so easy. Why are they complaining? It's so easy. And vice versa. It's not until you actually get into that person's shoes and do what they've been doing. There may be stuff going on behind the scenes that you don't see. You only see, what you see. There may be other parts of that job that you're not actually seeing that can be quite stressful or quite daunting or quite difficult. So it's always good to, put yourself in someone's shoes. If you can, swap a job for a day or two and see how it goes. Mentor somebody somebody in your organization. So do you think there's anybody within your organization that you could mentor? Bring them along, encourage them, show them what you know, teach them what you know, things like that. Again, it can be quite rewarding for the mentor, and it can be very beneficial to the person you're mentoring as well. It helps them with their confidence. It helps them with their confidence, and it helps develop them as well. When someone, say, who's more experienced or maybe in a senior role, take somebody who may be quite junior or new to the position, you take them under the ring and you help them along and develop them, it can be quite rewarding for both people. Volunteer and take a lead role. So don't always ask to do something. Volunteer for us. You know, be the first one up to stick up your hand and say, yeah, I'll do that, no problem. Or, you know, vice versa. And maybe not in a professional capacity, maybe something you could do in a personal capacity, you know, maybe do some volunteer work or something like that. Join a professional organization and sign up for a committee of interest or a role on a board. Okay, a professional organization. Anyone here within this group members of a professional organization, or are they on a committee of interest, or have a role on a board somewhere? Again, if you are, it would be interesting for all of us, and maybe get some insight into that for the rest of the group. Would be very interesting. Maybe it's something that they might want to try, you know, an organization that they might want to join, or a committee of interest, or, you know, maybe get on the board somewhere with some group. 6, network to meet at least 6 new people. So allow 6 new people into your circle. It can only expand your knowledge. It can only expand your development. 6 new people, 6 new different ways of thinking, 6 new ways of doing things, 6 new knowledgeable people that may have knowledge that you may not know, and vice versa. Do an information interview with someone whose role interests you and discuss what you learned with your manager. So someone has a role that you're quite interested in. See if you can arrange an interview with them. Like, pretend you're the paparazzi and you're interviewing someone for a newspaper article or a TV program, and you're doing an interview with a role that interests you, something that maybe you would like to be doing yourself. So do a kind of, you know, get as much information from the interviewee as you can. Build a business case for a change in your department and present it to your manager. Okay, so if you see something in your department that you could think could be enhanced by an idea of yours, build a case for it, you know, and bring it onto your manager. See if he'll even embrace your change. It might be something that's been done for the last 20 years and it's been working fine, but maybe you're a fresh pair of eyes and you see a better way, a more efficient way of doing this, a quicker way, a more productive way of doing something. Build your case, bring it to your manager, see if he'll even embrace that, and maybe implement that change. Now, that would be brilliant. But again, you may not have the opportunity to do that. So, I mean, these are all different ways you can, you know, you can maybe develop. Teach somebody a new skill or an area of expertise you possess. Again, it may not be professionally, you know, you might be a tap dancer. Teach somebody how to tap dance on their lunch break. Teach somebody to play the bagpipes, although your colleagues might not thank you for that one. You know, different thing, you know, a skill or an area that you have expertise in. It doesn't have to be professional. It can be a personal thing that you do outside of the workplace. But again, it can be rewarding. It can also be fun. You know, we have to remember, right, that, you know, not everything has to be serious. We're allowed to have fun as well, you know, within the workplace. It can't all be doom and gloom. Fun is good, you know, it lightens the day, it breaks up the day, it makes the work experience that little bit more enjoyable. It can't be all about doom and gloom all day long. We need to have fun, we need to enjoy what we're doing, and, you know, laughing and smiling are all positive things. So again, you know, like I said, teach someone a new skill, whether it's a tap dancing or bagpiping. But yeah, teach someone, you know, it might be fun, you never know. And it also develop you as maybe a trainer or instructor as well. You know, again, it might be a path that you want to go down. You know, teaching someone a new skill, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. It can be difficult, and believe me, you need patience. You need patience to, you remember, right? You're the expert in this area. That person is not. So you can't expect them to be at the same level as you. So again, if you decide to do that, baby steps, okay? Teach them bit at a time until they're confident enough to be able to, you know, maybe do it as well as you. Maybe not as well as you, but you know, they're getting there. Developing a personal leadership philosophy, or PLP, empowers you to declare your truth and stand tall within it, to operate from a position of strength that ennobles you. And that's a quote from a person called Deb Calvert. Developing a personal leadership philosophy empowers you to declare your truth and stand tall within it, to operate from a position of strength that ennobles you, not enables you, but ennobles you. Quite a good quote, actually. A personal leadership philosophy means to get super clear on your values, then commit to those values through your goals and habits. These fundamental truths form the foundation of your life. Whenever you have decisions to make in any area, whether it's your career, relationships, or lifestyle, developing a PLP, you'll have a better idea of your priorities, and others will also know what they can expect from you. It will help you set your own direction and resist external pressure when people try to steer you away from your priorities. Ultimately, your PLP will help you to gain clarity on how to make decisions, when you move forward and when to say no. So again, we kind of mentioned that as well in our first week. Sometimes we have to say no, and we were talking about this in our time management things. Sometimes we will say yes to everyone, and then when it's time, when we say we'll do something for someone, we realize that the stuff that we should have been doing, our own duties, our own responsibilities, are taking a back seat, and before we know it, we're running out of time because we're doing something that someone else has asked us to do. Sometimes it's good to say no. It's not negative. It's just sometimes we have to say no. We have to prioritize what needs to be done, what should be done. You know, something can be important, but doesn't need to be done straight away. Something can be menial, but has to be done straight away. So you need to prioritize. Just because something is important doesn't mean that everything else gets dropped and this gets done. It's important to get done eventually within a certain time frame, but that doesn't mean dropping everything else and doing this now. Okay. Identify your core values. What matters to you the most? What qualities do you admire above all else? When do you feel most like yourself? These are all clues to help you uncover your unique list of core values, whether it be fitness, wealth, generosity, religion. These are all examples of values. Clarity on your own core value makes big decisions easier, as well as knowing how to act in day-to-day situations. Being clear on your values is the key to setting meaningful priorities. To start, make a list of your values. Narrow down to the 3 to 5 things that matter to you the most. Okay, what are your values? I'm sure I suppose, and I think, would you have to sit down and think about that one for a moment or two? What are my true values? What are my beliefs? What are things that are important to me? My core values. Is it, is it my health? Is it my wealth? Is it my religion? Is it my generosity? So if you have, a super long list, narrow down to 3 to 5 things that matter to you most. So then connect your values with your big goals or your long-term goals, maybe. The priorities you pursue have to align with your core values in order for you to find a sense of purpose and accomplishment. That means looking at your core values and determining the actions needed to live them out. It's a process of connecting the dots between your values and your goals. Let's say you value creativity. What type of creativity or passions will allow you to express yourself? If you consider generosity an important value, perhaps it's time to pivot careers into the non-profit sector or give volunteering a bigger share of your calendar. Okay? Evaluate your current situation. Challenge yourself to generate new ideas to further incorporate your core values into your day-to-day life. Excuse me. What do you want out of life? Many people have some idea of their dreams, but few take time to really answer that question. So I want you to write down a list of 100 aspirations. Close your eyes and envision the life of your dreams. Write down all the things that come to mind. These heart dreams can fuel your excitement and motivation to stick to your priorities when the distractions and difficulties inevitably occur. When you get clear on your specific goals, the ones that light you up are so when you get clear on specific goals, the ones that light you up, you are one step closer to creating the life you want. Now, again, this is not something that you actually have to do for me. This is a personal thing for you guys, okay? Write down, a list of, when you close your eyes and you envision, your dreams, okay? Write them down. What are your thing? Is it a big mansion? Is it a sports car? What is it? It's fame and fortune, whatever it is, write them down. And they can help you, that if you get successful in your career and you develop it professionally, who knows what will do. As they say, the sky is the limit. Most big changes require you to put in consistent effort over a long period of time. Figure out what daily habits will lead you to your aspirations and then prioritize them into your schedule. If you want to publish a book, spend 20 minutes each day writing. If you want to build a better relationship with your partner, set aside quality time without phones or other distractions and to enjoy each other's company. Small habits followed consistently over time are the stepping stones to achieving big goals. Each time you complete a daily habit, the brain releases dopamine, often called the feel-good neurotransmitter, because it does just that. Dopamine makes us feel good. When your brain gets a hit of this rewarding neurotransmitter, you want to repeat the associated behavior. And over time, those repeat habits lead to big changes. Managing commitments is not the same as multitasking or trying to squeeze everything you want into your schedule. Learning to prioritize your life means learning to say no. When you manage commitments in alignment with your priorities, there is far, far more that will never make it onto the task list. Project plans and daily schedules that will make it to such places. There is a sheer fact of math. Sorry, there is a sheer fact of math or physics. However, you want to look at it. We all have to get clear on our committed course, or else we fall short when it comes to the things that really matter most, even without realizing it. Some reflective questions to help you achieve your peak performance. What went well so far? What did you learn? What kind of solutions can you come up with for the future? When you reflect, don't worry about what could go wrong. Instead of focus on what your accomplishments are so far. Think about what you want to happen next. Brainstorm solutions and new ideas to move forward. Talk to others in a humble way about what we want, what went well. Then write it all down in a reflective journal to track your progress. This will leave a positive imprint that will guide you to succeed in the future. Accept and respect the challenges. Struggle is a part of life. High stakes, novel circumstances, unexpected happenings, complexities and pressure. These things offer the most potent and powerful life lessons. Rather than fight against the current, go with the flow. Don't deny the struggle or play a victim. Accept the challenges and see them as learning opportunities for growth catalysts. Refer back to your highest priorities and see how they can guide you moving forward. Ask yourself, what is this unpleasant situation teaching me? Do I need to pivot or tweak my daily habits to get closer to the goals I want to achieve? Sometimes you need to take a step back to make a huge stride forward. Studies show that strategic breaks have the power to refresh your brain and help you stay motivated when taking on difficult tasks. Regroup, recalibrate, reevaluate your priorities. Reflect on where you can improve and come up with new strategies that work. You can always get back into the ring, this time with a clear head. Okay, that's all I have for you guys this evening. I hope you enjoyed this pre-record. I look forward to speaking to you all tomorrow evening again. And have a pleasant evening, and I shall talk to you tomorrow evening.